The Canons of Professional Conduct and Etiquette for Advocates in Chapter 12, Rules 134 to 175b of the Pakistan Legal Practitioners and Bar Council's Rules 1976 provide guidelines to ensure ethical behavior and professionalism among advocates in Pakistan. These rules are essential for maintaining the dignity, integrity, and discipline within the legal profession, ensuring that advocates serve their clients, courts, and society with fairness and responsibility. Key aspects of the canons. 1. So duties towards the client, Rules 134 to 147. Rule 134, advocates must act with integrity and fairness in dealing with their clients, maintaining confidentiality and avoiding conflicts of interest. Rule 135 to 136. Advocates should offer independent legal advice and not encourage unnecessary litigation. Rule 139. Advocates must keep the client informed about the progress of the case and ensure that their actions are in the best interest of the client. Rule 145. Advocates must not refuse briefs unless there are justifiable reasons, such as conflicts of interest or prior commitments. 2. Duties towards the court, Rules 148 to 159. Rule 148. Advocates must maintain respect for the court and act with dignity and decency in all proceedings. Rule 150. They must be truthful and refrain from making false statements or suppressing material facts. Rule 152. Advocates should not engage in any conduct that may result in delaying tactics in judicial processes. Rule 154 to 155. While arguing, advocates must ensure that they don't misuse court processes or mislead the court in any way. Duties towards fellow advocates covering Rules 160 to 165. Rule 160. Advocates must maintain courtesy and collegiality towards fellow legal professionals, respecting their roles in the legal system. Rule 163. Advocates should avoid unprofessional competition and must not attempt to influence clients of other advocates. Duties towards society encompassing Rules 166 to 171. Rule 166. Advocates have a duty to the public to promote the rule of law and justice. Rule 168. Advocates must uphold the Constitution and the legal system of Pakistan. Rule 170. They should engage in pro bono work and assist individuals who cannot afford legal representation, fostering access to justice for all. Professional conduct in financial matters, including Rules 172 to 175b. Rule 172. Advocates should maintain transparency in their financial dealings with clients, ensuring that fees are reasonable and clearly explained. Rule 175b. Advocates are prohibited from sharing legal fees with unqualified persons or indulging in professional misconduct for financial gain. These rules are fundamental to regulating the conduct of advocates and ensuring that the profession maintains a high ethical standard. The rules protect the interests of clients, uphold the honor of the court, and promote a just legal system. Violation of these rules can lead to disciplinary action by the bar councils, which may include suspension or disqualification from practicing law. This chapter serves as a guiding framework for advocates, ensuring that their actions align with the principles of honesty, fairness, and respect for both the law and the legal profession. What is the fundamental duty of an advocate towards their client under Rule 134? An advocate must act with fairness, loyalty, and ensure confidentiality in their client's matters. Can an advocate refuse a brief? Yes. Under Rule 145, an advocate can refuse a brief if there are justified reasons such as conflict of interest or prior commitments. What responsibility does an advocate have in providing legal advice? Under Rule 135, an advocate must give independent and honest legal advice to the client without encouraging unnecessary litigation. How should advocates handle client communications? Rule 139 obligates advocates to keep their clients informed about the progress of their cases and ensure transparency in their actions. Is it permissible for an advocate to delay proceedings to favor their client? No. Under Rule 147, advocates must not delay proceedings or use dilatory tactics, as it is unethical. Can an advocate disclose client information without consent? No. Advocates are bound by Rule 134 to maintain confidentiality unless required by law or with the client's express consent. What ethical guideline governs advocate fees? Rule 172 specifies that advocates must charge fair and reasonable fees and be transparent about the cost structure. How must advocates conduct themselves in court? Under Rule 148, advocates are required to maintain decorum, respect the court, and act with dignity. What should advocates avoid when presenting facts to the court? Rule 150 prohibits advocates from making false statements or suppressing material facts in court. Are advocates allowed to mislead the court to benefit their client? No. Under Rule 155, advocates are forbidden from misleading the court in any manner. What is the rule regarding arguments before the court? Rule 152 requires that advocates base their arguments on valid legal principles and facts rather than irrelevant matters. Can an advocate disrespect a judge if the ruling does not favor their client? No. Rule 148 stresses that advocates must remain respectful regardless of the court's decision. How does Rule 154 guide advocates regarding court processes? Sonin quasis, advocates must not abuse court processes or engage in actions that unnecessarily prolong legal proceedings. How should advocates treat their colleagues? Rule 160 requires advocates to treat their fellow professionals with courtesy, respect, and fairness. Is professional rivalry encouraged among advocates? No. Under Rule 163, advocates should avoid unprofessional competition and respect each other's clients and cases. Can an advocate attempt to influence another advocate's client? No. Rule 163 prohibits advocates from soliciting or interfering with another advocate's client. How should advocates handle disputes with fellow advocates? Disputes should be resolved with professionalism and in a manner that maintains the dignity of the profession, as per Rule 160. Leaders, what responsibility do advocates have towards society? Rule 166 requires advocates to promote the rule of law, justice, and uphold the Constitution of Pakistan. How should advocates contribute to access to justice? Rule 170 encourages advocates to take pro bono work for those who cannot afford legal services, ensuring equal access to justice. What role does an advocate play in maintaining the legal system's integrity?